Hi guys, I'm Barb. Today I'm going to show you how to make a grayscale coloring page using two free programs. The first one is GIMP. It is a basic program, I believe. Just like any other program, you can move on up to the Pro version if you want to purchase it, but I always just use the free part. So what I want to do, I'm going to open a file. Okay, here's one. We've got this picture open here, so we're going to go up to color, and we're going to desaturate and say okay. So it made it a black and white picture here. Then we're going to go to layer, duplicate layer, and if you look over here on the right, you'll see that I've got two layers. This is the first one, this is the layer I just created. So we're going to go up here where it says mode. Right now it's in normal. We're going to hold that down and go up to dodge. Okay, once we got it in dodge, we're going to go to colors and invert. And that's okay. Excuse me. I recently had COVID and I just had this lingering cough and tickle in my throat. But anyway, okay, so we've got that on invert. Now we're going to go up to filters, blur, and go to Gaussian blur. And you can increase this or decrease it however you want to. What we're looking for is a pale gray image so that people can color on. We don't want it too dark and we don't want it too light. So let me click this. I think that's pretty good. If you look back, you can't really see, well, not quite that far back, but you can, well, you can a little bit. You can see, what are those called on the cat's tongue? Tongue bumps is what I call them, and his fur. But I'm going to take this up just a little bit more and see what it looks like. That gives him a little bit more detail. You don't want to make it too, there, let me go back one. Kind of, yeah, he's got these streaks in his hair here. You don't want to make it too dark so that the person coloring it says, oh, it's just too dark, you can't even see their coloring. So I don't want to go that dark for myself, but it's all up to you and what you think that you will enjoy or customers will enjoy. But I'm going to take it right about there. Okay, and so then I'm going to click OK. And now, one of the things that you have to do before you can download this is go, I believe it's under Image, and we need to flatten it. That's going to combine those layers, because if you just saved it the way it was without flattening it, it would look like a, gosh, what are those things called? It's been so, a negative, like a negative photo. I don't think we see those very much anymore, since we don't develop film the way we used to. Okay, so here's my kitty cat. I've got it in grayscale the way that I like it. So we're going to go up here to File. Now we're not going to do Save As. It only offers you so many choices when you save it like that. So I'm going to cancel. And what I'm going to do is go to Export As. And I want to tell it, go down here. I can name whatever I want it to be. So let's say cat image. All right, and then we're going to go down here to this cross at the bottom, and we are going to go down until we see PDF. Now, if you're totally done with this, then PDF is just fine. If you want to put it in another program that doesn't take PDF, then you wouldn't want to save it like that. You might want to save it as a PNG or a JPEG if you're going to maybe go to Canva or somewhere. But I'm going to go ahead and save this as a PDF. So I'm going to say export as a PDF. Yes, export. All right, so there's a kitty. Let's try a couple more. So let's open, let's do this halflinger. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, so here's a picture of a beautiful halflinger horse, which I think is a big horse. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go up to color. We're going to desaturate, say OK, layer, duplicate. Then we're going to go over to here to the right side under mode. We're going to hold it down, go up to Dodge, let it go, and then we're going to go back to color. Where'd it go? Oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Invert. Okay, so there's our horse. So then we're going to go down to filters, blur, Gaussian blur. And that's a little bit too pale. I'm going to bring a little bit more interest into it, maybe right about there. If you take it, you see how more of the background's developing. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Maybe there's where you like it. It's got quite a bit of detail. There's some background stuff. There's quite a bit of detail here and along here. But if you don't like all that background shadowing, then just take it and decrease it a little bit, and it'll get rid of a little bit more. And see that black that was around his head here? That's going to decrease and decrease. So it just kind of depends on how you like yours to be. I'm going to say right about there. And then I'm going to say, okay. Now I want to show you one little thing that you could do. Certain pictures it works really good on, and others I don't think it does much of anything. But you can adjust things also by pulling this line. See how I got my pointer right here on this line, and you can kind of play with it. That looks more like just a gray and white, black and white picture. But you can just kind of play with it. Some things it makes look quite a bit better. It works real well on, and others I don't feel like it does much. I think I kind of like my horsey the way I had him, so I'm just going to say okay, or cancel, I guess. All right, so once again, we're going to go to image and flatten since I'm done with this. And we're going to do just one more. So let's open, let's go back to desktop. Let's see what we got in here. How's about oh, that's pretty. I like that. Okay. This is a Cosmo, a beautiful, beautiful flower. I love to grow these. So desaturate. Say okay. Layer. Duplicate layer. Over here, we're going up to Dodge. Then we're going to go to colors, and we're going to say invert. Then we're going to filters. Let's see if we went to color curves. You couldn't do that. Right now, that just makes it look more like a black and white photo, so I don't like that. So let's say cancel that. Let's go to our filters, blur, Gaussian blur. Alright, so there's the basic outline of that Cosmo. So we'll, whoops, that went the wrong way. Click it, kind of till you get it enough detail in there the way you like it. Let's go a little bit more and see what happens. That doesn't seem to change too much. So maybe right there. Now I want to go and try that curves on this and see what it does. That's kind of pretty. That's pretty. That's getting a little too dark when I go that way. I don't know, maybe just right there, just barely adding any of that. So there's another one for our coloring pages. I wouldn't, well, I guess you could if you wanted to do a book of just all different things. You could put them all together. Usually I stick to one theme, like flowers, animals, horses, you know, whatever, but I guess you could mix it up. Maybe people would like that. Okay, so we're going to go to image, and we're going to say flatten again. And then we're going to export. Export has, go down, we got to name it. I want to get rid of this JPEG on here. Cosmo example 5. Then we're going to go down here and tell it PDF. Alright, so I'm going to pull up a program called Gravit Design. Okay, so I'm going to tell it that my coloring book page is 8.5 by 11 or 10, whatever you want to do it in. So we're going to say create. Alright, So here's the page. So let's open up one of our pictures. File, open local file, and horse example. Let's do the horse. All right, there he is. So I'm going to inches, 8.5 by 11. Okay, so he's awful small in there. Let me, whoops, get up there. Okay, where I can see a little better. Okay, but before I stretch him out in here, I want to set some margins on here. And so the horse is going to go horizontal or landscape position on this paper. And so I'm going to, in the left margin, this is the left margin, and when the horse turns, this is still the side that I'm going to want the gutter. So we're going to say, I'm going to say 3.75. I'm going to unlock this because otherwise it'll make all the margins the same. So, and then I'm going to say 2.25, 0.25, and 0.25. And I'm going to click here because if you click out here, for some reason it just drops all these. And I'm going to tell it 300. It won't let you export it in 300 unless you upgrade, but it will let you go in 150. And I've never had any issues at all the way the images look. Okay. Wait a minute, I've got something wrong here. Oh, yep, here it is, I want 0.375. There, that's better. Okay, so then I'm going to take the horse here and I'm going to drag him and I'm going to turn him around like so. Put him back over in here so he's within those margins. I'm going to pull this and stretch him out. And there he is. If you notice down here we've got 0.25 on the right side, 0.25, the top's 0.25, and then the gutter here, which is the part that goes in the spine. We don't want our image to get cut off. We don't want, if we brought this all the way over here, then that part would be in the gutter, which on this horse I guess that particular part wouldn't really matter. But so there he is. So there's our horse. So we would save him or export him. And I'm going to go once again, has a PDF, 150. Now I am sure there are many other ways and other programs to do this with, but this is the way I know how to do it, so this is what I do. Maybe I'll work on it someday to try to see if I can figure out another way, but right now this is what I do and it works for me. So okay, we're going to go back to the desktop. Where's our kitty? Let's go to cat images. Okay, there's our cat. So I don't know why at the beginning we told it what size we wanted when it switches it all up and you got to go back in and do it. 8.5 by 11. You can tell it if you want some bleed in there or not. Bleed has to do with, like, if you wanted the cat, well, you wouldn't have any margins. You would just, the cat would go clear to the edges of all the edges, and then it would get cut off when they print, and some of it would go into the gutter. Okay, so we're going to go back here, and this time 0.375, 0.25, 0.25, and 0.25. Okay, so we're going to take our kitty, move him into those dimensions. Here we go. And there's our kitty. Here's the gutter, and then here's the 0.25 sides. Open. There's the flower. So we're going to go back, tell it inches, 8.5, oops, 8.5 and 11. Going to go down here, 0.375 for the gutter, 0.25, 0.25, and 0.25. Now, usually in a coloring book, you only put images on the right. Then on the back of that picture, you wouldn't put anything. Then the next page. So basically the front of all your pages are going to have images and the back are not. And that is so that when people color these, whether they use pencils or gel pens or whatever, inks, they're not going to ruin a picture that would be on the back of the page. So let's put this here and we'll drag it down to here. If you wanted the gutter, say you were doing a type of book that you would print on the back of the page, you just switch that around. Let's put it on the right. So this would be 0.25. This is right there on, this is the left edge. This is the top. So we're going to say 0.25. Then this is the right. So we're going to put the gutter over here on the right this time. So 0.375. And then the bottom would be 0.25. Okay, so this time we've got the gutter over here. You just wanted no margins, you would just stretch it out like that, and then part of this might get cut off in printing, and some of this would get cut off when they bound the spine. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would please like and subscribe.